All right, what's up, guys? Today, I will be doing something a little bit different than I usually do. I know I usually talk to you guys about my picks, my bets, my predictions for the UFC fight cards. However, today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about some MMA news that's been circulating, as well as some future fight implications for the winners of the main and co main fights of this card. So, with that being said, the most recent news and one of the headlines is that Kayla Harrison is out of her bout against Amanda Nunes due to injury. And I was super disappointed to hear this. I was so excited to see that matchup of women's MMA GOAT versus the dominant champ. It kind of had that feeling of when they announced Valentina Shevchenko versus Wei Li, but even a level further. Just because we were having Amanda Nunes come out of retirement, fighting the current champ, Kayla, who is a judo Olympic medalist and has been dominating women's MMA as from the moment that she got into the UFC. So that was going to be a great matchup. I was super excited for it. Unfortunately, Kayla Harrison is going to have to undergo surgery in her neck. I believe she has a herniated disc, and she's getting her surgery in New York. Shout out 212. However, I wish Kayla the best. I hope her surgery goes well. I hope the rehab goes well, and I hope to see her back in the octagon soon. The timeline, I believe, is going to be like 6 months recovery, and then to potentially see her back in the octagon is probably going to be 9 months to a year. And I hope she takes her time. She comes back healthy and fully recovered. That way we can see the Kayla Harrison in her prime against Amanda Nunes. Unfortunately, the fight is going to be postponed to a later date. They didn't cancel the bout, but it is a knock to the card. I think everyone in the MMA community was excited about this fight. But with that being said, we have a new co-main for UFC 324. I hope you guys are excited. But they just pushed up Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong to the co-main spot. And I did see an interview with Sean O'Malley talking about how he was no longer like a main event, that he was just on the main card, and talking about what's next, a prelim fight. And honestly, if they kept feeding him wrestlers, probably would have been on the prelims at some point. But this is a favorable matchup for him. This is going to be a fun and competitive fight. And I do believe Song Yadong is game. But Sean O'Malley, I think his striking is on another level. I think he can go out there, put on the performance of the night, get a knockout or TKO win, and that is going to shoot him up the line back into probably title contention. Because, Merab, he has done so much to build his brand, and he was a dominant champ. He fought multiple times in the year, and I think he deserves a rematch. He's rightfully earned it, and I think the UFC will grant that for Merab. But then I don't see Merab winning that rematch against Peter Yan. I think Peter Yan made the right improvements. He showcased his skills, and I think it'll be probably a little bit closer in the rematch against Merab, but I still think Peter Yan wins their next fight. And then that just leaves Sean O'Malley to be up next to fight for the title, because I can't think of anyone who's beat Peter Yan aside from Merab and O'Malley. And especially in the last few years, Peter Yan put on a little bit of a run to get back into title contention. So the fact that Sean O'Malley has a win over the current champ, I think the UFC is going to push for that fight. And since Sean O'Malley is just so marketable, has a big brand, has a huge following, I believe it's the right fight to make for the money, as well as the history there. Just because that first matchup was so close and it was very controversial. I know a lot of people had Peter Yan winning that fight. So I think Peter Yan wants that one back too. So that leaves Sean O'Malley in a perfect place to get a title shot again if he goes out there and beats Song Yadong in spectacular fashion. He's also has more pressure now to perform because he is in a co-main spot. Before he was on the main card, but most of the pressure was on Kayla and Amanda, as well as Justin Gaethje and Patty. But being on the first Paramount card of the year, and not even of the year, of existence, is huge. And you kind of want to go out there, give it your all, and get a spectacular performance to either give yourself a shot to the title, but also just do the UFC a solid. And you know, there are going to be so many new viewers, people that already probably have Paramount and you're just going to tune in to watch the fight, as well as people that find it a lot cheaper just to get a Paramount subscription than paying the ESPN pay-per-view that was like $75-$80. Now you just have to pay a monthly subscription of, I don't know if it's like $10-$12. But yeah, it's definitely a fight for Sean O'Malley to win here. I think he is the better striker than Song Yadong. And I think he goes out there, showcases his skills, and ultimately puts his name back in the race for the title. All right. And then last but not least, this is a little bit older of the news, but Trevor Whitman, Justin Gaethje's coach, has announced that he will be retiring if he loses this fight against Paddy Pimblett. And I believe it is the right move to make. Justin Gaethje has been in some wars. He's fought the who's who of the lightweight division. And he's just taken so much damage, man, that at 37, I don't believe he should still keep fighting, especially if he loses this match. Because then at that point, he's going to be fighting the up-and-comers, the younger guys. And you don't want to see that. Justin Gaethje should just go out on the shield here against Paddy Pimblett. And if he loses, at least his last fight was for the title. And yeah, man, you want to retire at your own pace. You don't want the game to retire you. And I think that's exactly what this is. It's Justin Gaethje deciding to fight for the title one more time. And if he loses, it's okay to hang up the gloves and retire here. There's no shame. Unfortunately, I do think that is going to be the outcome. I think Paddy Pimblett is just shown so much improvement. He has the grappling edge. He's younger. He's hungrier. And I think he's going to get ultimately his hand raised at the end. So, yeah, with that being said, it's unfortunate Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes was canceled. Justin Gaethje might go into retirement. And then we got a new co-main in Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. So I still think this is a great card. There are some spectacular matchups here. We got Natalia Silva versus Rose in the main card. And you guys know how I feel about Natalia Silva. I believe she's going to be a former champ. She's super exciting to watch. We got Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. This is going to be a banger. Someone's getting knocked out, probably. And then we got a matchup that might be fight of the night, which is going to be Arnold Allen versus Gene Silva. These two guys are dogs. They come prepared to give it their all. And I'm excited to watch this one too. And then we got some other familiar faces on the card too. We got Umar, we got Figgy, Ateba Gautier. Keep this guy on your radar, guys, because Ateba Gautier, this guy is a savage. And if he improves in his cardio, this guy's going to be unstoppable. So I see this guy as right now he's a rising prospect, but at some point he's going to be a contender, if not a future champ, because this dude is nasty. And I think he's going to go in there and knock this dude, Andre Puliev, out cold. And then we got some other familiar faces too. We got Alex Perez, Charles Johnson, Nikita Krylov. Yeah, and that's it. The other guys are under the radar, but some good matchups here. So yeah, guys, stay tuned for my official picks and bets video. That is where I'm going to give you guys my safety parlay, my cycle parlay, and some other bets that I'll have for the card. And stay tuned for my most confident picks as well, and then probably some fights that you might want to stay away from. So thank you guys. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one.